To add more RAM to your computer, you need a bat, hammer, and many more objects to do this. The first thing you need to do this thing is you need to pull up the libraries and then go to Open Word, a new Word document. And if you don't have Word, well, you might be screwed. So get Word. Okay, and then on Word, type in 72 font in Times New Roman, in bold and slanted. I need more RAM. Don't save, don't do anything. Just close the computer from then, and then place it on the floor, and then we'll tell you what to do next. Now, the second step to this process is to actually get into some of the internals of your computer. Now, to do that, I like to use this pry bar. And so you want to get it right. So, well, first off, you've taken out the battery. And then you want to get it right in here. Now, once you have that, just pry it open until you've gotten this component off. Now, once you have that, just like pull it out. And now you have access to some of your internals. Now, once you have that, you want to take out the keyboard, and then now that you have this, we'll get into the next step. Okay, so we have already got the keyboard and that off. So now we need to get this part. You see how it's already coming off. So we need to get that completely off. So you can use this. Here, no. You can just stick something in there and hopefully pry it out. That should have worked. See, it's coming out, but not quite. See that? Okay. And all you want to do is just keep on going and getting this piece out. Okay, so then you should just be able to pull it apart, but okay, I guess we forgot some. Okay, so once you have this off, which is not coming off, but that's probably good enough to get into the internals. Okay, so this is where it gets really complicated. You have to follow every single step exactly how I show you to do this. And I'll try giving you the best instructions as I can. If you don't understand it, just put it in the comments and then I'll tell you the rest. So what you have to do is, if you see right here, we didn't get the board off correctly, but if you do get it off, you can skip this step. If you can't, get the hammer, and right here, where this button is right here, just hit it here a whole bunch of times until it goes in. And then rip this out, so there's this big hole in here. This wire right here actually is a wire that stops the maximum amount of RAM, which is almost 100 gigabytes of RAM. So you have to get that wire out. If you don't, this is not gonna work. Then hammer right here, right above here, a whole bunch until with this side until you get out a whole bunch of these chips right here. And then, if I didn't get this one out, okay, there. I got all the chips out. Now, this is where it really gets complicated. You get the computers. No, not the computer. You get the hammer, and right here in the screen, you have to hit it once. And then you can open it, just take out one piece. Now you actually have to put this piece in here. And then you have to bat it right here a couple times, and then bat it right here. And then you can go and get the apply bar again. Where is it? Okay, and then you try opening this. And you just do this. And you bend out the screen and this. It won't open correctly, as you can tell. And it seems we still have a disc in. That might be a little bad. Okay, and then you put it here because when you hit right here with the back of the ply bar, the hammer won't work. So you just hit it with the ply bar until there's a whole bunch of dents here, and then you can just rip this right out. And then get this, and that you can't rip out. So anyways, now if you look in here, there's this board. No, that one you want to keep in. Board right here is the motherboard, basically. Now the next step is to get this whole entire board out. And then you just have to mess around with the wires in it, which there will be a, so maybe if you just bend it here, wait, let me see. You get that, okay. So if you just bend it here, you can mess with the wires enough. So if I get this right here, this is where this comes in handy. You get it onto one of these squares, like this one right here, and then you grab it here, barely, and then you just get the hammer, and then you hit it a couple times, and then there you go. The next step is where you actually have to do the cutting of the wires. So yeah, I'll leave you there. Next step,
wait, sorry.
For the next step, you're going to want to access some of the very, very deep internals underneath this motherboard, actually. So what you want to do, just take this and just like run it along the motherboard in here. And then once you've done that enough, you just do that a couple times. Once you've done that enough, you should start to see some flexing in the board. You want that, that's good. Once you have that, just take this here, and then take your hammer and bring that right in underneath the motherboard and pry as much stuff as you can out. Now, this little chip right here is actually a RAM restrictor, so you really want to get rid of that. So next, and make sure you keep this in there. That's very important. Next, just like keep prying until you hear like a really wrenching sound. And then once you have that, you know that that part's good. So next, you want to bang up this screen a little bit more because it just really needs to be done. And use the hammer. Once you have that a little bit with the pry bar, take your screwdriver and make sure to get really, really far into this screen. As far as you can, right? So, now that you've done that, just come back to this, and you want your disk drive, your little disk carrier. Stick that in there, and then you want to take your bat, and then with your bat, just pound that into the internals. And then that came out right there. So you want to replace it again.
It's okay. It does come out.
This motherboard has come out, so you're going to want to just pry that out. And you want to get rid of all of this. It's completely useless. And so now that you have your replacement motherboard, as depicted by the little disc carrier, you just pound that a little bit more, and then just put it into place right here after you pry out that.
Okay, is that one
so once we're done with that, we're going to go on to the next step, and I'll see you back. So just making sure this is in, it came from there. And you want the screen to be as destroyed as possible because there's no need for it. Hurry. Okay, that should be good. You can probably take some things off and stick them in here because you want as much screen as you can. They're very vital components. Yes. And then you need to pry out more because we're not there yet. What are they doing? You're making it. Yeah. Where's that screwdriver? Are you guys gonna watch it when finished? Yeah. We're gonna put all the videos together. So you want to get in here more, because then probably you want this piece out as well. This piece right here, because it's also one of the mini RAM restrictors in the computer. Oh, I crushed the motherboard. That's the motherboard. It's a new one. So, yeah, this is one of the harder motherboards, RAM restrictors to get out. So, you don't need to get the whole thing out because it's only the upper half that's the RAM restrictor. Or I don't think you don't even have to get it out. You just got to get it out of the way. And then we got to get the rest of the CD drive out of the way, so you can take it out or just hammer it in. But you need to get rid of the stuff in here. There we go. So we have all this out. And here, get this out too. Okay, it's out, as you can see. So now, back to here. So you want to take out all this stuff, so you get to just this white screen. You want to try to get a hole in this white screen. Thank you. Okay, so this part's also one of the hard parts, but so we got these sheets out. So there's mini sheets. These ones all out. So we got here. Be careful because there's glass. And yeah, so we have all the screen out, and the next step, and that's the end of that step. So yeah. Okay, to do these final steps of putting it back together, I think it's just 3 steps of putting it back together. Yeah, I think you need a CD. Any CD will work, and then these reflective sheets of paper. You need to get all 4 of them that came from the screen. They need to be undamaged except for this place right here on all the screens. It doesn't matter what order you put them in or in what directions they're facing, but you just have to place it right in here, okay? Not that hard, you just have it laying there. And then you put the CD on top facing up, and then you try bending this board back down. And then you bring this duct tape. This is where this comes into play. This duct tape is a little bit broken, I guess. Well, not broken, but not in good pieces. So you want to get a strip like this, about this wide and about this long. Look at that. And then you put it right here on the keypad, right in the middle. And then you do this and put it on the CD. Back here, and then you put it here, going out, and then you have just a little bit laying down, and you get this screen piece. It looks really cool, but then you just put it right here, and you put that there. It might not hold on tight, but then do that. And then what you need to do, is this part's kind of complicated. You put a hammer, and you just try like getting this to go in. And got into new safety glasses. Okay. And then you get this. It wasn't in the supplies, and you get a huge, huge strip, like about an arm's length of an adult, basically. But we don't have an adult available at the moment, so I guess mine might do. Okay. This is not working. Don't break it. We need to put the keyboard in.
Okay, we'll get back to you when we have a long enough strip of tape.
So I was actually looking on the scientific facts, and if you don't have a big long strip available, this will do. Just that, and then some of these that I have on my arm, like one that big, and then that big. So what you do is you put a piece of tape right on the screen here. Well, not a screen, but here, right here, there. And then you put this piece of tape here. 1 second. It's stuck. Here, crosswise, and then you tape it there. And then the final step for this step is to put this keyboard back on. So you just put it in place. Notice how a whole bunch of keys are gone. You need to make sure these exact keys are gone when you put this back on. So take a moment to look at what keys are gone, and maybe pause the video to figure out something like that. These exact keys have to be gone. It doesn't matter if it's like this, where it has this right here, or that right there. Oh, and that one has to be gone, the one he just took off. Actually, matter of fact, this one needs to be gone too. Oh, and this one. Oh, and this one. I missed. So, then what you do is you actually roll the duct tape around like this. If you don't know how to do that, it's not that hard. You put it right here. You bend it about there, and then you put this here. Turn the keyboard around, and then you make it facing the screen. The letters facing the screen. And you put it right before this. That's why it's good to keep it, because it gives you a mark. You put it right there, and then you put the duct tape so it sticks. And then you grab this, which has, if it fall, this one, it probably came from somewhere. And then you put it right here, like just a little bit there. You grab a little bit more off. It needs to be this big. And then you put it right here, right there. And then you grab this right here and you put it under here. And then you grab one last strip of duct tape. This one needs to be really long and about that thick. So I'm gonna get one really, really long, like this.
It is really, really long.
Okay, and then you put it about the middle, right here, and then you duct tape it to the keys, and then you flip the whole computer around, and then you put that there, and that there. Then you flip it around, and there goes the next scene.
Okay, so for the next and final step, he was wrong, by the way. This is the last step. So for the next and final step, you're going to need this hammer. And you want to just start pounding this back in place. So you can feel free to put your foot here with some leverage and just like pound this back into place. And you might want to crush this up a little bit more. It gives you more ram. And then this piece right here, you just want to break that a little bit.
Maybe.
So just pound it into place some more. And it doesn't really matter how far you go, so long as it's down enough, as much as you as it's aesthetically pleasing for you. So now that you have this, you're going to take this screen and then bring it here, and then just like pound that some more. Okay, so now that we're back, so if you've done it carefully, if you've pounded this carefully, you'll have a couple cracks right in the center here around the logo. And that's good, you want that, because that'll just give you that much more room of access on your screen. And it's just really nice. And so just pound this a couple more times. I just like the streaking effect that you can get. So you just want to do that a bunch. And then bring back out another strip of duct tape, and I have one here taped to me for some reason. So take a strip of duct tape about this long, and you want to take it, attach it right here, and bring it back around and up here. So now that you have that, you're going to want to take it and just like pound this into place a little bit more around here, like with finesse. And so now you want to take, and there it is. All you had to do was just take this and pound it a little bit more.
You can finally do what you want to do, but then you just get this thing and put it right on your keyboard, and it accesses the keyboard forever, and then you don't even need a battery, and you can just type everything you ever wanted to do. And as you can